Alright, y'all. I actually did do a spoiler video for Star Wars The Force Awakens, but before I actually put that video out, I wanted to put this one out. Now, I saw multiple reviews from Black Nerd Comedy, Schmoes No, Jeremy Johns, The Flick Pick, just to name a few. And honestly, there's a lot of things that I actually saw in their review that they noticed, but there's a lot that I noticed when I actually saw the movie, and it kind of makes me wonder whether or not they're going to actually put this in episode 8. But guys, this is just fun. This is just a fun fan theory video. So this is just my personal fan theories, with me being a Star Wars fan. So guys, I want to give you my top 6 fan theories for Star Wars The Force Awakens. Okay, again, before I get started with my number 6 fan theory, I just want to let you guys know that this is just a fan theory. This is my fan theory. Nothing is confirmed. It's just maybe a possibility from some of the things that I actually did see in The Force Awakens. So now that I got this disclaimer out there, and by all means, if you guys want to gripe about it, leave it in the comments, whatever. But now that I got that out the way, let's get started with my number 6 fan theory. Supreme Leader Snoke is Darth Plagueis the Wise. And the reason why I say it is this. For those that actually did care about Revenge of the Sith, you remember how Anakin Skywalker was sitting down and actually talking to the Chancellor about Darth Plagueis the Wise and how he was able to use his midichlorians. Yes, I am mentioning them again. Midichlorians. He was able to use his midichlorians to actually create life, hence making him immortal. Could it be a possibility that Darth Sidious did not kill Darth Plagueis the Wise? That Darth Plagueis the Wise actually survived because he was able to actually make life. He's able to save himself too. It could be a possibility that he healed himself, became immortal, cannot die, and just stand back in the scenes and just watch Darth Sidious fall because somehow maybe he knew ahead of time what was going to really happen. Because you got to remember this. In the original trilogy, there were some things that Darth Sidious did not foresee, or the Emperor. There were some things that the Emperor did not foresee. He did not foresee Luke coming. There's a lot of things that was blinded to him. Could it be a possibility that Darth Plagueis actually did shroud his ability to see the future? That could be possible. There's a lot of things that the Force can do, and it could be a possibility that Darth Plagueis knew about Luke, and he wanted to make sure that Darth Sidious did not, or the Emperor did not. That could be a huge possibility, and maybe they'll add that in there for part 8. But like I said, it's a fan theory. Moving on to number 5. Coruscant is no more. For those that actually did see the movie, you saw when the Star Destroyer, the Star Killer, you saw when the Star Killer actually fired their big weapon. We saw at least 4 planets along the trail of disaster that was going to happen to him. And yes, we actually did see a hint of Coruscant. We saw people standing by looking up in the sky and wondering what was going on, and one of them was Coruscant. The red of the screen got brighter. The people started to scream. It could be a possibility, and the way it looked like the Coruscant is now destroyed. So any hint of the prequels are completely gone now. No more Coruscant, no more no more city planet. Coruscant's done, y'all. And honestly, go back and watch it. Go back and watch that movie and see that scene when the Star Killer shot those planets. You saw a little hint of Coruscant there, and people actually moving up. I guess, I don't know if it was an apartment building or whatever. They actually moved up, looked in the sky, nothing but city. We knew that was Coruscant. So Coruscant is one of the planets gone. That's just my idea, my personal opinion. Let's move on. The Force is now magical, not mystical. And the reason why I say it is this. The original trilogy dealt with the whole mystical side of it. How the Force was around us. It was an invisible power that nobody could see, and nobody really knows the true origin of it and how mystical it was. Then we go into the prequels that talk about pretty much on how, midichlorians in your body is what causes the Force, or causes you to be able to be Force sensitive, and they made the scientific side about it. But now we end up having The Force Awakens, which makes it more magical than anything else. Number one, I have not seen anybody in the original trilogy that actually touched a lightsaber and literally was able to instantly have Force dreams. And not only that, she was able to comprehend the Force. And for those who know what I'm talking about Rey. Rey was able to comprehend the Force within the span of 2 hours. She was able to do the Force grab at the very end of the movie. She was able to use the Jedi mind trick, especially on a stormtrooper, in order to get out. And she was able to even have Force visions when she touched the lightsaber. Honestly, that's 3 major Jedi survival moves. She had a 4th one, but I can't think of it right now. But honestly, guys, she was able, and not only that, she used the Force to fight Kylo Ren and was able to actually use the lightsaber well by using the Force. She was able to use the Force without any training. Hence, there's no reason to be trained by Luke now. So, if you actually would think about it, that's more like magic than it is anything mystical. Mystical is like, you don't really exactly know where it's from, but it's just something that you're in tune to, and you gotta learn how to use it. With her, she learned within a span of 2 hours, so it's more like magic than anything else. And she didn't do it as a reflex. She did it directly. She knew exactly what she was doing. Hence magic. That's just me. Moving on to number 3. A possible love triangle? Because honestly, it's starting to look that way. For those that actually did see, well, I'm not even going to get into it. For those that are watching, you probably already saw The Force Awakens, so I'm not going to mention it anymore. But I will say this. It seems like it's going to be a possible love triangle with these 3. We haven't really seen Poe Dameron really team up with the crew yet, but it's a possibility he might team up with them on episode 8. But we all know, or by the way it looks like that Finn definitely has a crush on Rey. But Rey is more interested in adventure than anything else. But Poe Dameron acts a lot like Han Solo, and he pretty much knows what he's doing. As Finn is literally just, I don't know, he's literally just flying on the wing of a prayer. Praying that if he shoots something, he'll hit it. Don't get me wrong, he's not that bad with a blaster, but the guy sucks when it comes to being a pilot. He sucks at rescuing. He sucks pretty much at everything else. And I'm going to get to him on my next one. But either or, guys, it just seems like that the way that this is looking, and seeing how that Poe Dameron and Finn really connected so well, and how Rey and Finn connected so well, it's a possibility that it might be a love triangle once Poe Dameron teams up with Rey and Finn, and he might have a crush on Rey, and we know Finn has a crush on Rey, and Rey's going to be in the center, but Rey's going to be that independent female that just want to go to the adventure. She's going to be like Leia, pretty much. She's going to be like Leia. She might be attracted to Poe, but at the very end of the entire movie, you can tell that he just kind of got, I don't know, friend zoned really quickly. But he's in the same situation that Luke was in, even though that Luke was her brother. But you can't really say that now. Either or, guys, I see a love triangle that's going to be happening. And we all know that Finn is not going to like Poe. It's going to pretty much tear their friendship apart and make them go at each other's throats. And somehow they get back together with the whole war and them fighting together. But in the very end, I am seeing her with Poe Dameron. And I'm hoping so. But I really do believe that I keep saying season 8. Episode 8, it's a possibility that there might be a love triangle between those 3 and maybe be like Empire Strikes Back. There's a lot of similarities going on, especially in Force Awakens. It was too much like A New Hope. So I wouldn't be surprised if they take from Empire Strikes Back and do a love triangle. That's just my theory. Like I said many times before. Now moving on to my number 2. Finn was actually a janitor. And there's a lot of people that actually missed it. But I caught it when I actually saw him. Now, for those that, everybody's like, he's a stormtrooper. It makes no sense for him to be a janitor. He started off as a stormtrooper. He may not have been an efficient stormtrooper. Or, I don't know, maybe they were short on staff. And I know that sounds like a very weak theory, but I actually do have a point to this. In the beginning, when we actually did see him coming out, the guy almost had an anxiety attack. It's like he really has not seen this or was ready for this ever. Now, we all know that stormtroopers were brainwashed. They were brainwashed, taken from their family since birth, trained to be killing machines, and they will go at it and just do it. And here's the second part of my theory. For those that actually saw the scene with Captain Phasma, they actually were surprised that he didn't get his training, nor was he ever brainwashed. There was absolutely no file or no record of him actually getting his training or actually getting his conditioning. And that was his first time out there at war. He was under her care. So he didn't really get the conditioning that he was supposed to get or the training he was supposed to get. And here's the biggest kicker. For those that remember him chatting with Han Solo, I think it was before they actually went inside. He was like, okay, what? They asked him like, what branch were you in the New Order? He was like, sanitation. The dude was a janitor. He was not a stormtrooper. He was a janitor. I don't know how he became a stormtrooper or whether or not they actually did mess that up in editing or whatnot. But the dude was a janitor. And here's my other theory for this. Can you imagine that every single black Star Wars fan is going to be pissed off to find out that Finn was a janitor and he was actually thrown into it? If they had him as an intergalactic janitor, there will be a lot of pissed off people. Seriously, a lot of pissed off black people finding that out. So, of course, oh no, let's just make him a stormtrooper. And somehow they decided to still keep that in instead of just taking it out and editing. But it was there. The dude was a janitor. He was never a stormtrooper starting out. He was a janitor. And that's how he was able to know the trash compactors, all like the underground tunnels. The dude dealt with crap. Go back and watch. It is there. Seriously, it is there. Finn was a janitor. He was never, and only this, he does not know how to shoot a TIE fighter. How was he able not to shoot a gun from a TIE fighter or fly one if he was a stormtrooper? You would have to be like, oh, there's different kinds of stormtroopers. No, dude. You would know how to fire a gun. He didn't know what to do. He was completely out of his element because he was a janitor. Go back and watch. Go back and actually listen to that conversation that he had with Han. It is there. Now I'm going to go to my number one fan theory. Kylo Ren killed Mara Jade Skywalker. And I know you guys are like, what? You have lost whatever is left of your mind. Hear me out. We all know that Ben Solo changed his name to Kylo Ren when he joined the New Order. So, and we also know that Leia and Han Solo had 3 kids in the books, but in the movie they only had 1, Ben Solo. But Ben Skywalker was the name of Luke's son. He named him after Obi-Wan Kenobi or Ben Kenobi. So they actually changed the name in the movies. Instead of Jason Solo, they changed it to Ben Solo. And he was actually an apprentice of Luke's. Luke trained him because that was his nephew. He trained him and took him under his wing as well as other Jedi he was trying to raise up. But of course, we know that Ben Solo went to the dark side and he pretty much killed every Jedi there was. And it could be a possibility that Mara Jade was there. It could have been a possibility that Mara Jade was one of the teachers and one of the instructors, and he killed her too. And out of complete grief, he ran off, stayed hidden because of the death of his wife, and also the fact that his nephew was the one that killed him. And he changed his name to Kylo Ren when he joined the New Order. It sounds pretty far-fetched, but it makes sense to me, y'all. Seriously. I really do believe that Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, killed Luke's wife, and in grief, Luke went off to whatever island that he's on now and stayed there out of grief of what his nephew did. That's my theory. What is yours? Leave it in the comment below. I am curious to hear exactly what y'all's theory is about Star Wars The Force Awakens and what you think is going to be in episode 8. But other than that, guys, I'm done here. This is Naturegirl 30 signing off. Peace out, guys. Later.